Two, so we better, all the docs here. Okay, good. All right, so we can start now. All right, I hope you guys have seen the sign-in sheet. It's circling around here somewhere. And we have a surprise here tonight. Brandon Neuenhaus. Wow, isn't that something? He's right over there. Yeah, he's supposed to be one of our instructors. But he's busy, you know, protecting his country and all that, and so he's flying his Predator. Welcome to the January 2014 safety meeting. This is the March Aero Club, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, then you're probably in the wrong place. Tonight we're going to have a special guest speaker tonight, so you don't even have to look at me most of the time. So I know many of you are tired of seeing. Hey, Jerry, you didn't have to back him up on that. I'm Roger Mann. Did I introduce myself yet? Yeah, I don't. I'm Roger Mann, the safety officer. And Bob here is the Aero Club manager. And we got Jerry over there, one of our instructors. And we got John over here, who's our chief flight instructor. And then we got Brandon Neuenhaus, who is an instructor, whatever.
Pro temp.
Yeah, that's it, pro temp. And let's see, I don't think we have Jay here. And then we got some faces that used to be here and have come back.
Maintenance officers here.
Huh?
Maintenance is here.
Yeah, maintenance. Yes. Raise your hand. I can't see you.
David G's in the back.
Oh, David G. Well, Jay, why are you sitting over there? Oh, yeah, I know. I
Me
can
and
see
Stitch want to
that.
get together.
Yeah, right. Okay, update in progress. Okay, well. So I just close this? See, we have our own computer person here too, so. Base computer person, not like Robert over there who's an outside computer person. We have an inside computer person. So, our very own. Okay, let me see, let me go. Okay, we do have a regular agenda here. First thing we usually do is introduce new people. New people. Have you been introduced before?
No.
Okay, why don't you stand up?
Hi, everybody. I'm Mitchell from Temecula, California, based out of 144th Fresno. I have my private, so I'm here for my instrument.
All right, welcome. Okay, who else?
Hello everyone, Ed Rumpleton, live in Orange County, kind of far away, physical traffic, a little over 2 hours. Love the Aero Club. I'm a member of the CAP, Long Beach Squadron 150. Also prior service staff sergeant in the U.S. Marine Corps. So good to be here and want to be here for a long time, I hope so.
All right, welcome. Anybody else that's new?
How's it going? I'm Alex, work next door, Blue Operator, 135, and yeah.
All right. Okay, anybody else?
Evening, everybody. I guess I'm the only Navy guy in here. I'm with.
No.
So it's okay. I'm a Seavey. Don't worry and stuff. So I've never actually been out to the ocean. Just my recruiter says like, "Hey, join the Navy and stuff." And a year later, I was in Afghanistan. So anyway, name's Andrew Danielson. I work for Cummins Pacific out of Rialto, just down the street. Got about 63 hours of flight time. Just working on finishing up my ticket. So I look forward to working with everybody and nice to be here.
All right. Okay, anybody else? Okay, we got 2 returnees came back. I want you guys to stand up too. Jack? Jack? Yes.
Here last month?
Oh, you were here last month, but you weren't on a roll. Stand up anyhow.
Jack Jacobson, and it's been about 3 years.
Yeah?
So anyway, showed up at the last meeting, rejoined, and get back to flying.
All right. Jim, go ahead and stand up even if you haven't joined yet.
Jim Strzezinski. I was here about a year ago and ran into a few medical problems, and I'm back now and should get my medical back soon.
All right. Jim and I used to fly together a lot in the 141 and have good times. Good memories, right? Yeah. All right. New pilot ratings. Anybody has done anything that includes soloing? That includes Air Force pilots, if you've gotten just a recent check ride or anything like that, or upgraded anything. That's everything, including loadmasters, not just pilots. Oh, come on, don't shake your head. Has anybody lost anything like got Q3'd or got violated by the FAA? Okay. Well, gee, not exciting.
Locked out there.
Yeah, okay, this is where George comes in. Experiences. George always has something exciting to talk about.
Yeah.
Do you have anything?
Yeah, I got something.
Good.
But you, hope you brought pencil and paper because you're gonna need to take notes. No, I have a little information for you. I'm manager Fallbrook and Ramona Air Force, and we have a couple of frequencies over there. What's that, Jim? We have an AWOS now at Fallbrook, and the frequency is 118.425. You know, you used to be able to come in and click the mic 3 times. That was a super intercom that would give you weather information. That's gone. And the phone number for the AWOS is 760-723-6073. So
Okay.
I cannot put that, I cannot no-tam that information because the FAA hasn't came up and blessed it yet. It's just installed, so this is just for your information if you fly in there and expect to get the super unicom, you won't get it. A few crashes over there yesterday, one in Ramona today. Hard landings off the side of the runway and nobody got hurt. So also we had incursion on the runway. So if you come in Fallbrook, watch out for cars going across the runway. I don't think they'll do that again, but that's all I have.
All right.
I think George is getting pretty proficient about all those reports he has to do on accidents.
Yeah, I know. George is getting really good. Thanks, George.
Yes, sir.
Okay, has anybody else got anything that they, hair-raising idea, something happened, engine quit, fell off, wing fell off. That includes Air Force planes too, And
They never
quit.
break. We have such great maintainers. now that Dave G's gone.
Gee, holy smoke.
I know I can count on you.
Okay, Doc.
I just have a request. I'm planning a flight to Grand Canyon. If anyone's been there, I'd like to talk with you.
I've flown down the bottom of it, but never over.
Yeah, I know, I've flown.
Before you, this when you could do it.
I've done it in the 141, and we flew below the rim and down up the canyon. That was back in the days when you could do that still. I don't know, did you ever do that, Jim? Take the 141 down below the rim? Yeah.
Never admit that.
Well,
He can't remember the pilot's name anyway.
that's,
so what's the difference?
yeah, well, hey, I do remember who the pilot was, but that's beside the point. Yeah, okay, all right. Okay, we're going to talk to the Aero Club manager, or he's going to talk to us.
When are you gonna fix that slide, Roger?
I did.
I'm looking at the
I
manger
vote.
forever.
Nope, I took one thing out. You'll notice the SOP thing isn't on
The
there.
club manger.
Hey, remember when Rudy used to shoot the things with the camera? Yeah, I tried doing that and he chewed me out one side down the other. He says, oh, that messes up my camera and everything and I can't get good pictures of it.
Spelling manager? What's messing his camera?
You gotta look at manager spelled wrong.
Manager, oh, it is?
That's how he treats.
no,
That's
that
how
was-
he treats me during the day
That
anyway.
was done on purpose.
I
He
just
is-
get used to it.
He's a manager, yes. Okay.
You could put an L in there.
No,
but
it's a
manager.
manager. It's a manager, yeah. And then we're going to talk about mid-air collision avoidance with our guest, who's from Wing Safety Officers. Okay, Aero Club manager.
I remember those days. almost.
Yeah.
Except I never flew a trail dragon. Well, I hate to tell you, but anyway, welcome everybody. And a lot of things to cover this evening. So I'll try not to make it short, but I do have a number of items of importance. How many people that fly an aircraft and put oil in it and mark it down on the sheet? Or put it into your invoice? I see a few hands here, but let me just give you some figures here. 15 Foxtrot, 26.4 hours. How many quarts of oil should be in that? Probably 26 hours.
15.
Actually, I'd say 1 in every 4. Well, I got 2 quarts. Impossible. 29 Foxtrot, 22.3 hours. How many quarts of oil do you think?
15.
I got 1. The 182.
Those are tight motors.
I sure are, man. I'm telling you, I don't trust America's engines anyway. The 182's got 23.6 Zippo. So what does that do to the club? First of all, it affects our costs because we have to account where the oil is going. And therefore it disappears. So we have to take and start fudging as to where it's going to go in regards to the cost of the club. Sometimes it's placed here, sometimes it's placed there. So if you don't give us an accurate reading of how much oil it is, we have 2 issues here. One is the accountability of that oil, which we've had to already pay for. And secondly, how well is that engine running under the warranty? So if you're putting 0 oil in it, man, I tell you, I don't know how it's done. Because it should average maybe a quart every 4 hours, on an average. Both the T41As have about 150, 200 hours on them. So they're getting pretty well worn in. The 182 is still fairly new. Excuse me. And that should be burning oil at least 1 quart for every 3 to 4 hours on that 182. So when you tell me there's nothing there, you're fudging me and you're fudging the club, and it's costing us in the long run. Cleaning the aircraft. Ken Benner, he's not here tonight.
You don't put the amount of oil you service in there. When I send an oil sample to the lab, I have to put down how many quarts are used in so much period of time. I have no idea how many quarts the aircraft is used in like 25 hours for an oil analysis. It does help out quite a bit.
Yeah, the oil analysis on the amount of usage, when they start picking up certain minerals in the oil and their spectrum, it gives them a good indication of what's beginning to fail. And that's a real important issue in regards to that. Thank you, David. Cleaning the aircraft. Ken Benner, he comes out with his Civil Air Patrol cadets and cleans aircraft. But I've also noticed that we as a club get lazy in preventing that or cleaning that aircraft for the next person to use it. If you read the SOPs, even the old SOPs, clean the aircraft, get the leading edges, get the bugs off while they're wet. Don't let them get dry because you have to go out and scrub, and clean the windscreen for the next guy. It takes you maybe 5-8 minutes at the most. So try and do that, please. Get back into maintenance. Believe it or not, the wing contract is being developed for 555. It's taken us over a year to get that thing going. And finally just got up and started making up a list of what will be done, and I submitted that to Eric Craftsman. It's agreeable with him. We'll go to Eric Craftsman. He's going to repair that wing at his cost, which is a great benefit to us. So that's going to be $8,500. We've got another $2,500 on top of that as to play with, and maybe there'll be enough to get the wing painted. And that's on 555. 57. Since October, we've had a request in for an engine overhaul for 57. We're going to go to Tim's Aircraft. I get a call today. The lady's had it for 1 week. We don't know what happened between October, November, and December, but all of a sudden now they do have it. So it takes 3 months, I should say. I'm looking at maybe another month if I'm lucky with contracts here in the base. And then I had to explain to her that for her to go out and call somebody and ask if all these parts are legitimate that are going in the overhaul, I sent her a message stating that it's been approved by our boss, which is Eric Treeland, because every engine overhaul and replacement has to go through him for his approval. He owns the airplanes. They're just on loan to us. And he's a program manager for all of Air Force Aero Club. So you know, the left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing. She's, well, I'm brand new at this, I'm trying to explain to her. And I have to make an appointment to get over there to talk to her unless they call me on the telephone. I'm not allowed to get into contracting on one-on-one basis anymore to help eliminate some of these issues. 29 Foxtrot, I have to wait till the 26th of February, that's the next council meeting with a new base commander. So the altimeter decoder, which is all in the one unit for 29 Foxtrot, sits and waits. Just remember, it's a day VFR airplane only, 29 Foxtrot. No night flights in any of the T-41As right now. 15 Foxtrot is in for an annual, pardon me. And right now, February 1st is not going to make it because the inspection for the annual has to be done by inspector of aircraft, and he's doing it on the 1st. So if we can get it over on the following Monday, which is the 3rd, get someone to take it over to Corona. I'll make an appointment on the 3rd to get the transponder done. That gives your logbooks back up to date for your flight check. So I'm sorry, but that's just the way it's going to run right now. Okay. We're having a big issue with credit cards. And if your credit card expires and you don't notify the Aero Club, when Roger puts that into the system, we're being charged. And it keeps kicking back. So then he tries it again, it gets kicked back. So every time that's put into the system, we're charged. Our bill for credit cards alone in the Aero Club runs on an average of $270 a month for all the flights we do. That's a big expense. So to try and save a few dollars, please notify us when you get your credit card expires or it's getting close to it, or you get it in the mail. As soon as you get it in the mail, give us a buzz, please, so that we can update our system and charge you correctly without being charged the excess amount of fees that Chase Bank likes to do the Air Force. Other than that, have a great evening. Thank you.
I do have a backup here with the same thing here in case this thing decides to die on us, like it just did. Okay, real quick, to continue with what we do each month, what we do is kind of run over a paragraph or two on our, what used to be the SOPs and supposedly supposed to be called operating instructions, although we're still now, what, 4 months now, and they're still trying to approve it. So this is what I do is just show you what each paragraph is, and of course everybody is supposed to read the SOPs anyhow, so you know what to expect. On this here is Chapter 6, Maintenance Operating Procedures. This on 6.3 is Functional Check Flights, and basically the FCIs have to comply with the Air Force Manual 34-232, Chapter 511, and each person, usually it's somebody who, like Jerry's usually the one that's been doing it. This is the most highly qualified person that's supposed to do it, which Jerry definitely is. He's been around with these airplanes for many, many years, and it's got to be in writing, and that's basically what the regulation says. And we do have to do it, and that's dictated by David back there, who says you need a functional check flight inspection. So, any questions?
Yeah, one of these days I'll get checked out in airplanes.
Yeah, maybe.
No, I do have a list. I do have a list of pilots. It's just not published, that's all.
Okay.
So if I ask someone to do a functional check, I'll do it because you're on my list.
Okay, 15 Foxtrot will come up someday. Is it supposed to be the first?
End of the month.
At the end of the month. Okay, for those of you waiting for it, it is still around. Okay, this is the main part of the meeting right here, and Captain David Cody, and he's from the Wing Safety Office, and he's going to do this presentation. We do have a pamphlet. I guess he's got a copy, and I do have one in here too. Okay. You can all put a copy up here for those of you who want to look at it, and we also have it in the Aero Club. So, David? It's yours.
Perfect, thank
And
you.
if something goes wrong, I'll jump
I'll
up
blame
and try to
you.
correct it. Yeah, do blame
Do
me.
I just do the down arrow keys?
Yeah, just, not that one, this one here. We're on this one right
Okay.
now. I'm trying to, just hit the enter.
Nice, okay, sounds good.
Yep.
Like you said, I'm David Cody. I have been with the 336, the Rats, since the inception of my Air Force career. I've been around about 12 years now, and I was off the street hire. And about 6 years ago, I got hired on with U.S. Customs and Border Protection. So for my day job, I'm down in San Diego flying King Air 350s, mostly over the ocean, looking for drug boats and aliens smuggling up over the Pacific. So that's what I do Monday through Friday, and I come out here a couple nights a week and do stuff as well like this. So the MACA, the Mid-Air Collision Avoidance Plan, is what I'm here to talk about today. We're going over this topic because we have a brand new MACA plan that we just published, and the website is on here later on in the slideshow, I believe, so you can go look at it if you want. Or you can just look at it today, and then you don't have to go waste your own time. So one of the main reasons why we do this MACA plan every year is, I'm going to actually read this to you, because this part of the country is one of the most hazardous areas in the world for aircraft. So in order to reduce the risk of a major accident, 1, know your personal limitations, 2, learn as much as possible about the airspace around you, and 3, know the flight characteristics of the aircraft around you as well. So we'll go into all those today. Some of you obviously have been flying around here since before I was born. Did you? But some of you are just starting out, as I saw from the beginning today. So I'll try and tailor this to both crowds and all those of you who are in between. So at March, obviously we have the 135s and C-17s, but F-16s as well. And one thing to note on here that I found interesting was which aircraft have TCAS and which do not. For the military ones, F-16s don't. So you're not the only ones without TCAS, so don't rely on the other guy having TCAS, just like you don't want to rely on air traffic control for your aircraft separation. Mid-air collision avoidance. How many of these apply to either you or the other guy that's flying around in your airspace? Occupants of mid-airs were on a pleasure flight with no flight plan filed. Nearly all mid-airs occurred in VFR conditions during weekend daylight hours, when a lot of you like to fly. The majority of mid-airs were the result of a faster aircraft overtaking and hitting a slower aircraft. Experience levels ranged from the full gamut to new to just about dead. The vast majority of the mid-airs occurred at uncontrolled airports below 3,000 feet. En route mid-airs occurred below 8,000 feet and still within 25 miles of the airport, so talking close to the airports.
Let the script go.
Yeah, okay, that's fine, I'll close that out.
Yep, that's the end right there. Okay, good. It went faster this time.
Air Force computers.
Yeah, it took about 10 minutes before.
And for you younger guys, flight instructors were on board the aircraft 37% of the mid-airs. So just because your instructor's with you, you better be looking out too. Don't rely on him. Just like you don't rely on ATC, just like you don't rely on the other aircraft's TCAS. So how do we mitigate this? Plan ahead, see and avoid. My closest mid-air, early on in my flying career, I learned how to fly out of San Luis Obispo County Airport, which is a great airport to go to. Good restaurant on the field. Anyways, I was over Pismo Dunes, so a heavily trafficked area for sightseeing by planes. And, you know, my buddy and I were just putzing along, and another guy came up from just below us, luckily, at a converging heading to us and faster than us. And that almost made me not become a pilot, but I overcame that obstacle. Clear, communicate, squawk, and be seen. Turn on your lights. Does the Aero Club have any guidance on using lights? Or just when the checklist?
Only if they work.
Yeah, only if they work,
Yeah.
yeah, basically, we like, especially when they get in high density airport, like,
Mhm.
some French Valley,
Yeah.
kind of recommend that.
So turn on that light early and leave it on late if you feel like it, if you feel the need. Congested airspace. How many, good, it doesn't say. How many general aviation aircraft are associated at our 4 local bases, which are Flabob, Riverside, Paris, and French Valley? Any guesses on how many GA planes are associated with those 4 airports?
1,000.
Close, over almost 700. So, hence we're flying in one of the most congested places in the world. The big sky theory does not apply to SoCal. So, instructors, make sure you take your students to these local airports. Make sure they're familiar with the traffic pattern operations. Try and switch up where you take your students. And students, insist that your instructors take you to different airports. Don't get comfortable going to the same 2 outlying fields, but switch it up. March in particular, you're familiar with March, but I just want to make sure you guys know about our tactical arrivals and departures as well. All the way up to 11,000 feet, aircraft, C-17, 135s, F-15s are spiraling down from different points and doing circling maneuvers all the way down to a landing. So watch out for that. Don't rely on tower. Our very hazardous parachute drop zone over at Paris. It is the West Coast's largest fleet of skydiving aircraft. That's what we have to live with here, just to the south of us. The majority of the parachute jumps are on the weekends between sunrise and sunset, and these operations can go all the way up to 18,000 feet in the south. So be cautious of those guys. Do you guys fly much to SoCal? Yeah, Victorville?
That's Old George, yeah. Old
You guys go
George.
up there? Is that one of your days you frequent?
I don't know.
No, we don't get out there very often,
Okay.
but the guard gets out there.
Yeah, and hence a good reason to not go out there because the guard is out there flying the Predators. So,
Well, they got Cirrus out there too.
Cirrus now, they're flying that, and the chase vehicle. So if you guys, if you are going to Victorville, just be advised, get a brief on all the planes and the UAV ops that go on at that airport.
The thing with Victorville is that a lot of people use it for instrument approach practice, and then you have Apple Valley, and you'll find a lot of aerobatics just outside the arc for the VOR arc. So you'll be flying the arc, and all of a sudden, there goes someone up off your wing, and he has no idea you're even there, and you don't get any radar information either. So it's mostly used for instrument approach practice versus just going out there in free flight.
Okay. Let's see if any of these frequently asked questions are worth going over. If you guys have a near midair, report it. When you're flying, try and gain as much information about the other aircraft as you can. Make sure you write down what ATC frequency you're on as well. So, and file a HATR, which is a hazardous air traffic report, on this this website here, the epublishing.af.mil, and turn it into the safety office here at March. One of the highest areas for traffic conflicts at March in particular is on base to final for runway 32. Of course, that's close to the jump zone as well, so just be extra cautious when you're in that area to the south of the field.
Especially our airplanes. I mean, that jump zone could get you in trouble if you're not aware of it. Just try to, generally speaking, if you can, you know, it's better to just stay east of the freeway. Just get up over there if you're heading south. Just stay away from that jump zone.
Do you guys fly in MOAs very often? Obviously we're allowed to, but sometimes it's not the greatest idea to.
They may come across the one that sits out near Daggett if they're going in and out of Las Vegas on cross countries.
Okay.
That's about the only one.
Okay. So pull up the chart, look for the frequency for the controlling agency for the MOA, see if it's active. And if it is active, it might be best to avoid it. And if you decide, if it is active, and if it is hot and you decide to still go through it like you're legally allowed to, just realize you might be messing up some military training going on or exercises going on in that area. Here's some websites. And if you want any of these, look up the main website that has this pamphlet on it.
Yeah.
The last one at the bottom there, the March, you can't see it, it's march.afrc.af.mil. And that's the main one that has this pamphlet and all that information on it. Questions? Thank you for your time and fly safe.
All right, just real quick, I know you went through it, but that was kind of fascinating. I don't know how many have seen that before, but that's shows how quickly an airplane comes up on you on your closing speeds. In the chart on the left there, it talks about distance, speed, and time, and the critical seconds. Even though this is very old, they have like a T-33 as an example, but you're supposed to stand, I think it's what, 12 feet from the chart. That's in, you got one in the back of this book here. And that's what an airplane is going to look like, and then the closing factor is just tremendous. I mean, it's like just a matter of seconds. And he's like 10 miles away, and you got 10 seconds to make a decision if the plane's coming right at you. So it's kind of an interesting chart. Okay.
And that's only at 300 miles an hour.
That's at 300 miles an hour, yeah. That's not counting some of the others. How many don't recognize this airplane? You don't recognize airplane. Yeah, okay. Those of you that don't, probably you're new. This used to be one of our primary student airplanes. People used to fly this thing like crazy. That was a good airplane.
I'm working on the purchase request for 6 cylinders for it.
Yeah.
Overall.
I'll tell you, the plane itself, it's the newest airplane. But the engine went bad on it, and so, but it's also the one that tipped over on its side too, up in New Mexico, and I do have pictures of that, and I told you before, the individual tried to taxi in super high winds, and the winds are going straight down the runway, but he forgot to calculate doing it when he had to get to the end of that runway to take off. And he didn't make it to the end of the runway, and the wind just caught the wing, just took it right on over. So it got a new engine put into it, and that was 8 years ago. And then we had it flew for a while, and then it started bringing metal. So that kind of grounded it. It's a good airplane, though. It's the newest one. Okay, where are we going down here? Confound it. Let me get the stuff. Okay, we're going to... Okay, next meeting, 18 February. Short month. And has anybody got anything else to say?
Don't forget
Bring
February
up.
14th for flowers for your honey.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, February 14th. Oh, you know, the base has got to have its Valentine. The base, the club over here has got a Valentine's sweetheart dinner. Yeah. And yeah, David. Actually, it is worth going to it. I took my wife there last year, and if you want to meet the base commander and everybody else that's there too, it actually is worth going.
What they've done, well, they had a flood inside, so it ruined it. So to get it back into shape, they had to put in money, and they remodeled the whole club. It's in light colors. They've got new doors up. They've hired a full-time chef for $25 for the dinner that's on the 14th. They're serving prime rib. Or if you require something other than beef, if you notify them when you make reservations, they'll change that menu for you. So it's prime rib, and you get a glass of wine, and they have you can dance for $25 for the evening. Not a bad deal, actually.
Okay, well,
You saved that money and gave us some engines for the airplanes.
No, they bought the dishes for the dinners.
yeah, we bought dishes for the dinner.
I shouldn't say that.
We probably, maybe we better not. You know, if we could end the meeting early like this, we should bring over safety office more often, maybe. I don't know. Usually we don't end this early. Usually it goes right to 8 o'clock. But tonight, you know, it's January. I think you guys got something out of it. And at the very least, we've got these pamphlets down there that you want to look at. Okay? All right. That's it. Make sure you sign the sheet.